Retro Rewind Highlight.
Hey guys, John here with another Retro Rewind highlight. And I'm going to start this one out just a little differently. I wanted to give some thanks to the Nintendo dads for giving me another outlet to play and talk about video games, whether it's through first looks for you guys or these highlights. So just wanted to thank you guys again for letting me do it, and without further ado, let's get to this highlight. This month's Retro Rewind highlight is none other than Kirby's Dream Land 3. Kirby's Dream Land 3 was released on November 27th, 1997. It is the fifth entry in the Kirby franchise, and the third in the Dream Land series, obviously. And while Kirby's Dream Land 3 was met with lukewarm reviews, it can be praised for its art design, but often seems to get marked down for its lack of difficulty. Kirby's Dream Land 3 retains quite a few features from its predecessor Dream Land 2, and has similar abilities but adds new friends to the roster, which makes it feel very similar. But I mean, is this good or bad? It depends on if you liked Dream Land 2. I guess bad if you didn't like it, because it's more of the same. It just is. So let's have a little history lesson time with this. Now, I wanted to point out something that I found very interesting, and that is that Dream Land 3 comes out a year after the release of the N64. It's just amazing how long Nintendo would support the SNES, all the way up until 2000. While in Japan, the Famicom and the Super Famicom would still be supported until 2003, which is just mind-blowing. I mean, just think about how old the Famicom was by the time 2003 rolled around. And then back to Kirby. Kirby's Dream Land 3 was the second game that came out on the SNES for the Kirby series. Superstar released the year before that, and is arguably the better of the two titles. Although Dream Land gets to stake its claim as the last first-party SNES game to come out in the US. Now, here's where I give a quick mention to Star Fox 2 that came out on the SNES Classic in 2017, and took the actual title away from Kirby as the last first-party SNES game ever, but it actually never came out physically, so to me that doesn't really count. And then there's Frogger, who gets to claim the last third-party honors in the US. While in Japan, the Super Famicom was still receiving games through the Nintendo-powered downloadable cartridge system, games like Fire Emblem, Thracia 776. Well, I guess that's enough Nintendo history for now. Let's get back to Dream Land 3. Not like other Kirby games, Dream Land 3 has a little bit of story to be had. The game opens with a few story beats and some panels, almost like a comic book being read in front of you. A mysterious object approaches Popstar while Kirby and Gooey are fishing. And as this thing draws near, it breaks the surrounding rings that surround Popstar, and it starts to land. And as it's landing, you can see that it's kind of reaching out and taking control of the inhabitants of Popstar. And you get the feeling that it's something pretty epic by the pictures they show. And then it's just up to Kirby and his new forest friends to stop this menace and bring peace back to Popstar. With Kirby's Dream Land 3, the Kirby series departs from the Game Boy, but keeps all the normal Kirby key elements. The game is still a side-scrolling platformer that has Kirby gaining abilities by sucking up his enemies. He also has friends that join him for his adventure through Dreamland. 3 new friends are added to the past 3 that were in Dreamland 2, as well as a new character, Gooey, which allows for co-op play. Now, as for my experiences with Kirby's Dream Land 3, I don't have any. I'll be playing it with you guys for the first time. I wouldn't get a Kirby game until Crystal Shards on N64. So instead of trying to fill this in with things I don't have, I decided to throw in a quick little Kirby quiz that you guys can post your answers to in the Retro Rewind channel in Discord. And I will eventually post the answers so you guys can check them out.